Hello everyone. Today we will be looking at our line reviews and then starting to look at some new concepts involving space. First, we'll review some line keywords. And here I would like to kind of break down line into what we would talk about as line quality and make a distinction between that and linear orientation. Line quality has to do with the individual line or lines, so they could be loose, free, imprecise, gestural, rigorous, logical or rational, or many more. But linear orientation refers only to the entire composition, not the individual line. So you could say that the composition would be unstable or stable, dynamic or static, balanced or unbalanced. And this kind of is what we're thinking of when we're thinking of these keywords. And keep in mind, these could be on one of our first tests for the midterm assignment, and just make notes of these or review on them to keep yourself informed. Next review for keywords would be implied line and outline and contour line. So I have posted an image on the left here of an implied line or a composition that uses implied line. So as you can tell, there's no outline or no contour lines of what you would assume to be pine trees. All you can see is kind of the faint depictions of what would be pine trees, and that really is setting the tone for the image. Next, with outline or contour line, I will give you a second to think, is this painting on the right an example of outline or contour line? If you thought contour line, you would be correct, because the line is outlining sides of his face, of course, but then as you can see, it's going through the left cheekbone area and kind of hitting where you would see light. And that is why we would call it a contour line as opposed to an outline. Now we're moving on to a new part of this lesson, which would be figure-ground relationship. And this is just a way of assessing the relationship between the subject or main object in objects and the background in a piece of art. So there are two ways to assess it, and it would be stable or unstable. Stable would be when the subject is clear, and unstable would be when the subject is unclear. What would we think of this Picasso painting down here? Do you think it would be stable or unstable? If you thought unstable, that would be correct, because in this type of abstraction work, we can't really tell what the main subject or subjects should be in this painting, and so therefore our figure-ground relationship would be unstable. Next, we will ask ourselves, how can artists make a three-dimensional reality appear on a two-dimensional surface? And this will bring us to our next key concept, which is perspective. When we're looking at perspective, we'll look at a couple key words. We would look at aerial perspective or linear perspective. Aerial perspective is an optical illusion using overlapping and gradients of objects in space to make it look like things are going back in space, or we're creating a three-dimensional space or land. In linear perspective, it is an optical illusion using lines and relative shapes alongside single or multiple vanishing points. So this is the idea that all of these objects are referring to one or multiple points in space, and these would be vanishing points. This is what we will look at in our assignments this week, and you all will kind of identify vanishing points in another painting, and I will post another quick video on what I am expecting you all to do.